flag mean that that tree's coming down?
No. It possibly will.
It doesn't look like it's much. It's kind of scraggly. White oak. Called tear thumb. It's in the bogs up in the mountains. This is a little willow, probably a silky willow or black willow.
D.W. Herman Bog or marshland area.
If I yell stop or run, do it.
This is a little dry area out in the middle of the marsh area, but it's actually, we can walk and not get our feet wet. Our property's further back in this direction. There's Bwana Herman. And then we go into these pines on the back side. Okay, we've almost made it. This is where we want to get to. It's that pine tree right there.
Right there?
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll ever make it. So this may be our last transmission.
Let me see.
Houston, we've got a problem.
Loganville?
The latest description coming out of Herman's lips is that this is a marsh. This is all kind of wet area through here.
Fairly solid in here once you get across this.
This is the creek on the other side of the marsh. We're going to adopt the term marsh. It sounds better than bog. I don't know if you can detect the water flow here. But it's really good. Anyway, decent creek on the other side. Here's Herman. Found a path that deer use. These plants here are cattails. Found some with actual cattail on it. A little farther back. Anyway, our property goes into these trees right here, the furthest trees you can see, then angles back up toward the main road, and those trees on the far side are where the high bank is, looking out across this area. And then where those dead trees are there in the center, it's on the other side of those is the property line on the other bank, and then we're going to proceed down that way next. Okay, I'm standing on fairly hard ground now, and we're closer down to the big dead tree there. Getting closer down to the other side. Let's see, here's some cattails. And Herman's working his way across. Is that the way to go? Well, so much for Herman. You okay, Bo? Okay, over the crest of that road is our property line. And to the right here is the marsh area. And there's our trees on the other side. More marsh. And here's the road that's the back property line to our property. And it comes right along here and heads back up that direction. And we're going to go from one side to the other. And these are the pines, looking up into the pines on that property behind us. But this is all uphill from here to a ridge up this way. This is where I'm guesstimating the property line is. Somewhere through this angle. It comes across to this pin right here. And that's in the center of this road, which goes that direction. And that's all ours that you see right through here, going out into the swamp, and then this would be the back corner of the property. This is a nice little wooded area down to the creek. And Herman's heading up the road, which we're on the left side, and everything on the left. I don't know if this will pick up. And there's some pretty flowers up here. And the property line is up. There's a ribbon on that tree. I don't know if it'll show up on the video, but that big pine in the center is somewhere close to the property line on this side. There's a big stand of pines. There's a dead tree out in the marsh. And some oaks right along here. And here's the road which heads back. We're a long way from where we were. That light area you see right through there is the marsh that we walked through, and then there's this thick stand of trees and all on this side. We've walked down the road further up the holler, and that clear area back that way is where our land is. And this gets real nice over here. There's a nice creek. This is Bay Creek. I'm just going to walk down there and watch Herman take a bath.
Good sand bottom. It's pretty deep. I thought there might be a few fish in there.
Well, this is Bay Creek. This is the one that runs past our property that our little water area flows into. These are the markers looking back toward the street. All this that you're looking at is probably going to be pasture back up to where our house would be. And then this is the ridge that drops off into the marsh area. And that's marsh out through there. And there are the orange flags behind Herman. This is our back left corner of the property. It jumps across the marsh. I don't know if you can see, but there's some pines back in there, and it goes up back to those pines and then heads down that road this direction back to that far pin on the far back right corner. That's where we were, at the corner back there. We've come this way. More bog area. I just don't know what it'll pick up on the video. And this is going toward the ridge. Is somewhere right around in here where I'm pointing. And then this is typical of the way the woods look. Where the bright area is, that's where we're going to have pasture. We're going to take out most of those scrub trees and all these pines. And I'm guessing the house location is somewhere through here, but you can't even see where we're going to put the house, so it doesn't do much good. But this is just typical of the way it looks. Now, the last time I was back in those woods, now we're getting around here, more marsh area out through there, and here it gets a wide, it's shallow water, but it's wide right here, and it's on the edge of this real steep bank. I don't know if you can tell, but it drops off fairly steep, and this is where the moonshine stills were dug into the side of the bank. There's a spot here, and then there's a spot further around that I videotaped earlier and when we first started the video. But that's all marsh area out there, and the big trees you see in the background is where the road is on the back side of the property. And then again up through the trees where all this is open in the skyline, where it's fairly thin, well, that's where we're going to clear out all these scrub trees and make pasture. Probably this will be pasture to the right, and where it's all open, and then where it gets thick right through here, somewhere up in that area is going to be the house. And then right where I'm looking here is the dam, where the dam would be at the lower side. And the spring is down in this area. And somewhere where I'm standing is where I'm going to put my shop, somewhere along through here. This is all sloping downhill. This is not even 45 minutes work with that loader. Well, here's your future driveway. That's the street up there, far end. Comes down here, crosses the ravine. I don't know if you can see how deep it is. It's probably 15 foot deep, I guess. Come right up through here, head toward the ridge. The house will be up here somewhere. You can tell, but it slopes back down that way. That's where I'm going to build my garage, down there somewhere. And right out here, about where you see the clearing, is where I'm guessing the house will be. There's a banner, our sideline is right in the center of the screen, right here. I can see it, but I don't know if it'll pick up. Here, two more on a tree. Here's one on a tree. Our neighbor's house is up through these trees somewhere. Here's the side marker that the surveyor left, the pipe, iron pipe. And from here, I can barely see, right at that light area, I can see their chimney right in the center of the screen. So we'll be, right there's this dirt area. That's where he cut a path around. He's clearing out for the pasture now. I'm guessing the house, probably leave all these oak trees in front of the house, and I'm at the edge of them right now. So where it really gets light right in here, he's going to end up clearing. You can see the trees shaking in the background is where he's working clearing. I can see his dozer moving down in there. But anyway, the house where all these dead logs are, which will be cleared out, will probably be somewhere here over the crest of this hill. And as you look back up toward the neighbors, I think it'll be totally out of sight. I know we won't be able to look out a window and see them, but I don't even think when you're standing on the pad for the garage, you'll be able to see the neighbor's house. But I'm right here on the line right now. Here's the banner. Right down through there are banners. So down this slope, somewhere, maybe where this biggest tree is right here will be the pad for the garage. And it's a nice slope. We'll get a full basement in. And then, as we look down the side property line here, this will be all pasture to the right. And here's the orange banner. This is our property line. And he's clearing out a spot in the middle of the future pasture to pile up trash so we can burn it and clear it and do all that. Anyway, it's now 10:45, so he's been working about 2 hours. We've cut a path all the way around the property. See, he's clearing out a big hole here with a horse pasture. Might ought to go ahead and order the horses. I think we'll be ready in a couple hours. Give me another hour to fence it and order the feed, build the barn. Anyway, that's back. Going back toward where the house will sit. And here comes the sun. First time I've seen it in a few days. So all this to the right is going to be taken down. All these little pines be pushed up. All this to the right. He basically cut a circle around where I want to pasture. Kind of pointed him in the right direction. And here you go, all this. I can't even see the road on the other side where he cut through, so still a good ways into those trees. Should look different in another day or two. Some old dead pines standing, some dead pines on the ground. Heading down into the woods here. A lot of these oaks are real pretty pin oaks or water oaks. I don't know what they are. Pardon my belching. I'm drinking a Diet Coke as I walk. Anyway, this will be about the back corner of the property, and I can see down through the woods the boggy area. And there's the banner right there in the center of the screen. And there's one on the tree right here. There's one in the center there. I don't know if it'll pick up. And there's some more back that direction. But anyway, you can see where we cleared. And there's a couple of nice oaks in here. I told him to leave any decent sized oak tree. So we're going to leave all these trees as a buffer zone on the back of the lot. All these pines are going to come out. Pines and sweet gums and poplars really are going to go because we've got so many trees. I guess I'll do this as long as the battery holds out. Here's a little opening. See some, most of that I'm looking at right through here is sweet gum. All these tall trees are sweet gum trees, which they're usually the first ones to come into an area when it's been cleared. And this is probably cleared at one time and planted in cotton. Down through the woods, right along here somewhere, is the that ridge that overlooks the swamp. There's that big angled oak that we, as a reference, it's the one that's hollowed out. And I think the high ridge is to the right, so it's still a little further around. Yep. There's the old oak, and you come all the way around through here, and right in this direction is where the ridge, Moonshine Ridge, is. I never thought I would have enough property that I could name parts of it, but right along here. So we're fairly close to the ridge. When we get all this cleared, you'll probably be able to see the ridge. That's where I thought it would be nice to make a little overlook to sit and look out across the marsh. Here it is right here. We made it. There's the old moonshine still. There's the marshy area. The dog. And as I turn around, right there is where we're going to clear from this point. And I guess those tallest trees you see way in the back are up on the property line. I'm not quite sure. We'll know when it gets cleared out more. So if the battery holds out, we'll get a walking tour all the way around. Right here, straight ahead, in this area, somewhere, because I'm thinking about putting a garage, an outbuilding, probably further up this way. More death and destruction up through here. Probably right in this area, but I'll know more when it's all cleared. There's the dozer working. You can almost see across the pasture, maybe. I don't think I've got a good angle. So now we're approaching where I think the house will be. You can tell the slope here. I'm going uphill. It's a really good slope. No problem getting a full daylight basement right in this area. And there are all the big oaks that I even, let's see, there's a poplar in front of me. This is a small oak. But the really nice oaks start about right here. There's an old pine right back in there. I'll probably take those out. I will for sure. And this whole stand is really nice big oak trees. But I think I'm going to put the house more in the sun this time so we don't have to worry about shade for the plants and we can have some nice grass around the house. So I guess I'm close, real close to where the house will be. Maybe the lower end of the house. I'm almost back to where I started. And the battery's good. So hey, this was an e-ticket ride. Okay, here we are. Back at the beginning. A few old scraggly pines right here in front. They'll go. This is a big sweet gum. It'll go. All these sweet gums here will go. And I'll see how much work the loader did while I walk the perimeter. Looking better. Starting to look like a pasture. I can't tell if what I see at the very bottom is the edge or not. I don't think it is. But I'll revisit the scene here and a little later. We'll see how it looks.